Hello.
Hello, Mike.
How's it going?
Going well. How you doing?
Good, good. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. I got stuck on this other call. So, anyways, here I
No
am.
worries. It happens, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
It's rock and roll time.
I try not to be, though. I try to be punctual. So I'm apologizing for being late.
All good, man. So you and I have chatted before, and it was a long time ago, and I was trying to figure out the year, and I knew where it was, and I knew what tour it was, but I couldn't figure out when it was, so I went back and looked. It was 23 years ago that we did it. I was working in Miami at a station called Zeta out
I
there.
remember that. Yeah,
Yeah, I was working there, and you were supporting Korn on the Sick and Twisted tour, and you came out of the arena to the radio station band where I was at, and we did the interview there, and
very cool.
that was the last time that we spoke. And
Oh
so
my
here
goodness.
we are 23 years later.
So you made it from Miami to
I'm
Arizona.
in Arizona, my hometown now
Oh, okay,
where
very
I'm at.
cool. So it's better.
But yeah, all good. So it's good to see you. I'm glad you're still at it.
Yeah,
And
me too.
man, you guys have a killer new track,
Thank
Lowest
you.
in Me. Congrats on the success of
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Um, I heard a new Stain song was coming down the line, and I'm like, okay, well, I know what Stain sounds like. I think I know what we're gonna get, and I was totally wrong
Oh,
because
right on.
this song it's fresh. It has fresh sounding vocals, fresh sounding music. I mean, it still sounds like Stained, but it sounded like updated Stained, if that makes sense.
Nice. It
So,
does. Listen, that was the goal.
yeah,
So I mean, it's nice to hear that in somebody's eyes that we achieved that, but that was obviously the goal. You know what I mean? You want to grow and progress, and hopefully still maintain kind of who you are.
yeah, great job, man. I don't know what the key to that was, but whatever it is, you found it, you achieved it, and you've got a new album coming out next month. What is it called? Confessions
Of the fallen.
of the Fallen, and, what's it, September 22, I believe, right?
Correct.
Is
Yep.
when it's coming out. So I would imagine there's more of the same on the album as
Yes.
far as the sound of the band.
Yeah.
Uh,
In fact, I think that there's another. We put out another Grat track. I don't know. I think when the tour started with Godsmack that we're on.
yes,
And I think that there's another one coming out. I think this week actually. I could be
nice.
wrong, but I think it's soon.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do that. They put out those Grat tracks, and they're not necessarily out there to be singles,
Right.
but a lot of those songs, I mean, they're just as good as any single out there,
Well,
if not
it
better
was funny
sometimes.
when we put our single out, Lowest in Me. Of course, we find out the same day that the Foo Fighters surprised everybody and put out a song on the same day. I go, okay, we're the biggest bands in rock, put out a song on the same day. I'm like, really? I go,
Right.
nobody knew that this was happening,
Right. I know. It's
And then they dropped the record, but they put out like half the record in a matter of like 3 weeks, I think.
yeah,
Yeah,
insane.
yeah,
Insane. But you guys, stood your ground and stood on your own, and look where you're at now with the
yeah.
song.
No,
I mean,
sure.
seriously, it is really, really good. One of my favorite Stain songs, I'll
Oh
say
wow,
right
thank you
now.
very much.
So
Very
yeah,
cool.
and then there's a lot of great songs. So it's
Thank you.
been um 12 years, I think I was,
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
since the music. So, but since that time, it's not like you guys were never together, because you guys were out on the road in 2019, I think
Well, yeah.
2014, something
21.
around there.
We did that tour with Korn a couple years ago.
Right. So
Yeah.
so it's not like you guys weren't together that whole time. It's only the music that you guys hadn't really been doing. That's got to be a different machine when you turn that on. You're out on the road doing your thing, but doing the music is something different. Was it difficult to do that, to get back into it?
Um, I was excited to do it, and there was a lot of ideas kicking around, and I was really looking forward to just kind of working with Aaron and seeing where they would end up, because I feel like that you know relationship that him and I have as far as working on music, I think is I it's very helpful for me, whether it's Aaron or a producer that we're working with, just to be able to bounce ideas off of and say, hey, a lot of times I'll write something in so many different ways, and it's like, which one do you want to use? And especially the guy that's singing over it. I mean, so, it was really on that tour with Korn where I was able to, get him in a room and play him some of these demos that I had and kind of get some direction for where the record was going to go. So, that was very helpful for that. So, yeah, I'm just really proud of the new record and the way that it came out.
How long have you been working on these songs? Because I mean, there was that period of time where everybody was stuck doing nothing because of the pandemic. Was
I
it
know.
pre-pandemic or was
Mostly
it
it was mostly post, really. It was really a
yeah,
lot on that tour that a lot of it came together. And a lot of what made the record. Listen, I had a bunch of stuff, kicking around, and some of those are on there too. You know what I mean? The ones that I thought were, I there was a couple songs that I really pushed to try to get on there that I thought were good, that I had from before. But a lot of the writing was done during that tour in 21. And it was really from there and he being able to do that we, chose Eric as the producer. And it was really last year that we put it together. And listen, Aaron works all the time. He's always on the road.
yeah,
So I mean, it was, I would get together with Eric. We'd kind of re-demo my demos. You know what I mean? He'd kind of interject what he thought was, cool or make some changes here and there. And then he would get together with Aaron and kind of go over, the batch of songs that we worked on. And that's kind of how the process went. So it was a different way for us to do it, but yeah, it worked
it,
out.
yeah. I mean, it's great, but you're talking about Aaron working all the time, and it's not like you're a slouch yourself. You've got Saint Asonia that you're working on, and
Right,
how do
right,
you
right, right.
differentiate the music between the two? How do you go?
Yeah,
This
I
is Stain. This is this.
sure. Listen, for me, it's kind of like I just write songs and ideas and then I'll just play them. And if you like it or you like it, you know what I mean? I don't
Hey,
I don't know if there's a differentiating because to me, I just kind of write stuff, you know what I mean? And I'll play it. And if it gets Adam excited when we're doing something, then you know what I mean? And if it's
yeah,
time to do a Stain thing. Although I mean, I will say though, when Saint Asonia was doing those EPs and we were trying to do a Stained record like at the same time. And I said, Dad, I go, hey, I haven't done a Stained record in like over 10 years. I really need to focus on what this is just because that's really where I came from. You know what I mean? That's what I started and how I was able to even, come up and, be a part of, the music industry and even meet Adam to begin with. So, and
yeah.
he was
That's a
cool.
great combination there too. I gotta say, I did see the tour, and you were missed on the
Oh,
tour. So
thank you. Yeah, no, I know it's just hard, you know what I mean? So, I'm very thankful that Travis is able to fill in for me and do that. And yeah, and I love those guys, man. I love that band too.
and so obviously you will be back sometime whenever the Stain machine is kind of winding
Yeah, if
down,
we
and
can if we can make everything work out, then yeah, that definitely would be the plan.
that's awesome. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
How has it been on the road? I mean, you guys, I mean, have been on the road in recent years, but how has this been different playing some new stuff?
Sure. Listen, it's great to be back out there. And honestly, just the tour has been great just because, it's kind of something that Aaron says every night. He's like, 25 years ago, Stain and Godsmack were playing together before we had record deals and, clubs in Massachusetts, and here we are 25 years later, playing these amphitheaters to these, great crowds and great fans and just super thankful to still be here. These people still coming out to see us play and the responses that we've been getting. It's really been a great summer.
That's awesome to know that you guys still appreciate it in that way, to look back at it with that, with those eyes, you know what I mean? And
Sure. Yeah.
and that feeling, and that's awesome. I'm actually going to see the tour in Irvine next week, so I'll
Oh,
be seeing
very
you
cool.
guys
That's
there.
our We're off. We got home. I got home yesterday, and that's our first show back. So that'll be
Oh,
great.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's I'll be at that show. So I'm
very
looking
cool.
forward to it. It's been a while since I've seen you guys. Quote, been a while.
I know.
Uh, I'm sure you've never heard that ever before in
Ever,
your life.
ever. No, no, totally. Yeah.
So yeah, so after the, I know the album's just coming out and the tour's going. I mean, is the tour going to be extended? I know you've got up to a certain point where it kind of like, okay, here's the dates, but is it their plan to go further with it?
I don't think this year everything that's booked this year is this year. Aaron has some solo dates towards the, later in the fall. But next year we'll be back out again. So we're actually just kind of figuring out next year now. So we'll definitely be out hitting a lot of the places that weren't able to hit on this tour, and probably some of the same ones again, I'd imagine.
Well, it'd be great to have you come to Arizona. I know that. So
I'm sure we will. I don't think we, you know what I mean? You can't really go out on a tour
sure.
and skip Arizona, although this one does, but I think it's just kind of the way that it worked out with routing.
Well, don't come in during the heat. I don't know if you
When is there not heat?
well, that's true. This is true, but in the summer especially, it's there was a Disturbed show that
You
rolled
can't.
through the amphitheater
I
a couple
saw
weeks
that.
back and they had to cancel it.
Couldn't
Uh
play
yeah, because and it wasn't even them, it was the equipment. They couldn't get the
equipment.
equipment going. And when I worked in Florida, I saw the same thing happen, either people falling down by heat exhaustion or the equipment failure. And outdoor
That's
shows
crazy.
in the summer just no good. But
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I did read about that they weren't those guys. And actually, we have a show with them coming up in a couple of weeks. We're doing a show with those guys, so
oh,
I'm
that's
looking
cool.
forward to it. Yeah,
Yeah, another great bill. That sounds
for
awesome.
sure. Yeah.
Um, what do you do to keep up with new music? I know it's tough because even me, I listen to music nonstop all day, every day, but there's music I have to listen to, and then there's music I want to listen to. There is a
Right.
difference. And how do you find time to listen to new stuff? And what are you listening to?
I'm terrible about it. I must say to you, I'm not very good about it. I honestly listen to a lot of talk radio, so
Wow.
I know. Um, and I don't even know. I mean, can I mention satellite radio? That's what I listen to
You whatever you
sometimes
want to
too.
mention. That's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So like, there's, Octane, but
Oh
honestly, I feel
yeah.
like a lot of that, I don't know. A lot of it is, I don't know.
You just put it on and whatever's on is on
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
pretty
thing.
much it. Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes, yeah, I get it. It just starts sounding familiar, but it is
Well, yeah,
tough
like
though.
you want something to stand out, and I still find myself listening to the bands that I loved, whether it's like, Deftones or Corn or, Alice in Chains, or you know what I mean, Slipknot,
Yeah,
you
I
know what
mean
I
that's
mean?
the same with me. I was just
Yeah.
listening to Chino's new band Crosses. He put out a
I
new
heard
song.
that song. It was great.
It's fantastic. I love it,
Yeah.
and I'm glad he's still doing that stuff. But yeah, I get it. It's like, you're going, okay, let me see something fresh, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, here's this, track that I love from this album or whatever it is. Let me go listen to it here. Haven't heard it
Yeah.
in a month, you know.
Yeah. 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 Totally. That's pretty much it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, being out on the road, being in the studio, having a family life and all this kind of stuff.
It,
It's difficult. I get it. I'm
it
in the
is.
same kind of boat. Well, listen, I said I'm gonna see you in Irvine. I'm looking forward to the show. It's been so long since I didn't want to say it's been a while again.
Thank
It's
you.
been so long since I've seen you guys, and I'm really excited. D- how much new stuff are you gonna play once the album comes out? Or is
A
there gonna be
good question. It's always trying to balance that line, you know what I mean? So we've been doing one song, we've worked up another one, and there's another one we're going to try and do. So I don't know, we'll see how the set changes, you know what I mean? Yeah,
Gotcha.
as we move forward. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm looking
How long have
forward
you
to it.
been playing? I see. Is it a modern?
No, I got let's see, the one right how am I pointing? That's a
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
custom made guitar that I got in, oh my God, in the 80s. It's a guy in Tucson, Arizona that makes custom guitars right
Oh, okay,
there.
but it's
And
kind of like the Gibson mode. Was it
it's a little
modern?
bit, yeah, but I think that came out later if I'm not
Well, I thought that was
mistaken.
like a real old thing that they only made a very few of, and then they brought it back for a minute.
Oh,
Anyways,
maybe that's what
that's
I'm
what I
thinking.
thought it
Yeah, this was
was.
that was made in like 82, I think it was.
Okay,
That
I
guitar
gotcha.
right there. And then Yeah, and then I've got an
PSP.
Ibanez and a
Oh,
Jackson back there.
I saw the Jackson headstock right above
Yeah,
your.
yeah, yeah, right there. I've got some other ones laying around here and
Nice,
stuff. So yeah, I mean I was playing before I was even in radio.
nice.
Way back in the day. You can see my heroes right there. Ace
Yeah,
Frehley and
Kiss.
Eddie Van
Yeah,
Halen right
I see.
there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Everybody's
And
got them. Who is yours?
well,
Who's your
yeah,
guy?
Eddie Van Halen is. I mean, the best ever.
Yeah, I mean the
Walk the
greatest, right?
planet. Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean you can't
just
deny it. So
I mean, his playing just stops me in my tracks. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like some of those songs, it's just like it's just so good.
I remember
Tone,
hearing the first album, it was
rhythm.
like a bomb went off. I was like, "What in the world just happened? What did I hear?" You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great
Jimmy
stuff.
Page, him, Dime. You know what I mean? There's so many great guitar
Oh, I
players.
know.
Like
It's
the list
incredible.
is so long.
Well, listen, it's been great catching up 23 years later with
Yeah,
you.
finally,
Yeah,
finally, glad we
it's
were able to.
yeah, so great song. I love the
Thank you.
song. Seriously, one of my favorite Stain tracks.
Thank
You
you.
guys really brought it. You came with it. Looking forward to the rest of the album. Hope you have a lot of success with it. Great
Appreciate it.
success on the road as well. I hope the crowds have been awesome to you.
I've been.
That's
Yeah, I hope
awesome.
you
So
enjoy the show, and I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. It's
yeah,
nice
of
talking to you
course.
again after all these
Anytime.
years.
I hope it's not another 23 years before we speak
Me
again.
too.
Yeah. So you
Right
take
on.
care, and then I'll
Thanks,
see
Rich.
you
You
in
too.
Irvine.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right.
Have a good one. See ya.